came to one of my favorite campgrounds in South Carolina, Jones Gap State Park. It's in, I think the town is Marietta. And what I like about this place is it's not car camping. You can't just drive in and park and pitch your tent right next to your car. You have to walk a bit. And the closest campsite is half a mile. That's the one I got today. And the reason I got it is because I have a big project to do today. I'm gonna make a rotisserie chicken using a bushcraft rotisserie that I'm going to make. And actually I've failed this 4 or 5 times already, and I'm going to try and make it work today. I did a lot of prep work ahead of time, so that should make it easier. The first time I tried it, I just underestimated how long it would take to create the monstrosity. So I had to walk back and forth that half mile several times to bring in some gas station firewood and all of my contraption parts. I don't actually have all the pieces. There's one piece I still have to make, and I have a little bit of an issue. There's no tree with a branch that I can hang the pulley on, because it's going to be a gravity-powered rotisserie, and I have to use the weight of rocks to turn the rotisserie. And so I didn't at all scout out the site to see which campsite would work, but it's all paid for, so we're gonna see if we can make it work today. Another reason I like the campsite is because there's a bathhouse. It costs $25 a night, but it's open 24/7. It's heated, and there's hot water. I might even be able to convince my wife to come out camping if that's the case, and it's probably only a quarter-mile walk to the bathhouse from this campsite I'm staying at today. We're approaching the campsite now. This is on what they call the Hospital Rock Trail. So here's the fire pit. There's some of the wood I brought in, and there's the place for the tent. I'm trying to decide if I should use that branch up there, right there. See that little V? Somewhere in there. That might work. Or over here, there's another little branch sticking out. The most important factor is the spit, that long stick that the chicken will be on, and how this wheel lines up with the pulley. It's quite a ways away, but that might work, especially since the posts that I'm going to have to put up will be on this side and not that side, where there seem to be more rocks, and it might be in the way of the entry to my tent. So I think I'm going to go with that tree over there. Instead of tying a rope around a rock, which might slip out, I'm going to try just sticking it in this bag and then tying a knot around the bag to throw that over the branch. We'll see how that works. This is a pulley I spent some time making. It's just a stick with a bunch of little pieces with a hole drilled through to fit on the stick somewhat loosely. This middle one is the one that will spin with the rope on it, and this will go up in the tree. Now, I had originally just tied these ends onto the rope, but they slipped off and the whole thing came crashing down. So this time I drilled a hole through the stick just enough to tie it off so it won't go past the ends here, and that keeps everything in place. So now I'm going to bring this up to the top of the branch and put the rope on here. If you want to know what type of knot to put on here, don't ask me. If I just tie it enough times, it probably won't come undone. That should be good. Whatever knot that might be. I tried to find the cheapest rope I could find at the store, and this is a clothesline. Hoping that will work. Tie it temporarily through the handles of the bag just to give it a little counterweight. And then I'll pull the pulley up. I wish it could go further, but I don't want it to interfere with the tree. That's why I was looking for a better branch. I suppose I could go higher. Why don't I try that? There's a little knot. Might be able to get it up there. Yeah, let's try that. So that's where it's at, and it doesn't really give you a whole lot of room for the rock to go down. But up there, there's a spot I don't know if you can see the little branch sticking out, but I'm going to try and get it up there. It calls for a more precise throw, though. Well, I didn't film myself throwing the rock over the branch, because I thought it was going to take me several tries, but I was fortunate enough to get it on the second try. Really, believe me, I'm telling the truth. The other thing I wanted to say is I got here kind of late. I got here at about 11 a.m. and check-in isn't until 2 p.m. But I was hoping that they'd let me in early if nobody was camping here last night, and they did. They were really nice about that. They let me in early because I know it's going to take me time to set this all up. So I'm not sure if I'm going to do this cooking tonight or tomorrow. I could get up early and start. I expect it to take probably 3 hours, I'm guessing, to cook the chicken. I'm not sure how long it's going to take me to get everything set up and working. That's the issue. So we'll see. Oh, the rope. All right, the pulley is way up there now. And on one end is the weight. On the other end, well, nothing yet, but it's over by the campfire. And the rope that's holding the pulley, I tied off to a branch over here, right here. So when I'm done camping, I can just release that and the pulley will come down. Over here by the campfire, I have these two sticks, and they're going to go on either side, and the spit will go through. Now I drilled some holes for this spit to go through. They should fit. I guess this one's smaller, so it goes on that side. So they should fit. The other thing, you know, campsites vary. I don't know what to expect, so sometimes it's really hard to dig a hole, and these have to be in there and supported very well. So I got some rebar. I'm going to pound those in and then zip tie the sticks to those, probably 2 zip ties, and then I'll also be able to adjust it that way. See how close to the fire I want the chicken to be. So there we are. I'll get started on that. All right, now we have the spit set up. So now the Leonardo DiVinci clock escapement part. This will control the drop of the rock, so it doesn't just shoot the rope all at once. We want a controlled drop of the rock. So that's where this escapement comes in. This will be the cross beam, which I've centered on the rope, so I'll put the end braces on each end at about that distance. There. A little bit wobbly. I probably will stabilize that a little bit. But it's about 1:30 and I'm kind of hungry, so I'm going to take a break and make some beef stew. I'll probably cook the chicken in the morning, as I expected. This seems like a pretty good place to sit, so I don't really know if I need the chair, but it is a creature comfort. All right, let's see. Open pouch and remove oxygen absorber. Lord, thank you for this food. Please let it nourish and sustain me. In Jesus' name, amen. All right. Well, it's always a little difficult to eat out of one of these bags. Gets your knuckles all yucky. So, what I like to do is cut the bag. Hopefully not spill it. There. Ooh, a little hot. Let me get my glove. Yeah. It's okay. It just occurred to me that it's probably not a good idea to have food on the tent pad, because if I drip any and it goes under the tent, a bear might be a little bit nosy. So I moved down off the tent pad. Duh. All right. The idea with this here and this is that I'm going to cut a little groove in here, and there's a groove cut at the bottom of this piece. I'll stick this in the ground, bury it a little bit. I'll make a point on both sides of this, and this will go on here and freely spin. So this rope will wind around here, kind of like winding a wristwatch or a clock. Hard to explain, but you'll see, Lord willing. Now, nothing says master bushcrafter more than being able to make do with what you have out in the wild. So what we do, I want to cut a nice groove in this dead piece of wood, so I could continue going like this, which seems to be working okay. But as a master bushcrafter, I come prepared. And we'll just finish that off here with making it a little bit wider. You don't want it so thin that it's going to break the tip of the log winding mechanism part. What do you call it? Part of the escapement. I don't know why they call it escapement. I guess the energy escapes in a controlled way. Don't quote me on that. I don't know for sure, but that does seem to make logical sense. Once that's done, I want to have a point on the thicker end of this log to fit into this hole so that it will freely rotate. So to do that, I'll take my saw and I'm going to cut some 45-degree angles around this and then finish up by carving with the knife. Try and make that as rounded as possible down to the point right here. I just want it in enough to be stable. I marked it right here for the very tip of the point, so I'm going to saw this right here and then do some 45s into this point. So this seems to spin okay. Hopefully it will stay in place. Now what I need to do is get a stick, not quite as long as the distance here, a little bit shorter, and I'm going to drill a hole through here, and well, you'll see. Picture's worth 1,000 words here. So it's a bit long. I'll have to cut it. Well, I want this to go in quite a bit, and then cut it right about. I know it looks like green wood, and it kind of is, but it was a fallen tree, a recently fallen tree. Still had some life in it. I took the trail down to the river and picked up some rocks to use in the escapement. I'm not sure which size, probably not that big one. That might be too heavy. I'm thinking this one. This one seems heavier than this one. So we'll give this one a try first. This one was actually in the river, so it's going to be a bit slimy. Again, I have no idea what I'm doing with the knot. Some expert bush craftsman I am. Oh, you know what? That's too high. So it can twist around these posts. Trial and error. This whole process, all 5 times, has been trial and error. Mostly error. You know, every time I watch knot videos to try and learn knots, I can never remember. And I'll show you how this is supposed to work in just a sec. If you tie it enough times, it just might hold. There. So, this seems a little bit stiff here, so I'm not sure if it's going to work, but it's supposed to, I hit it there, it's supposed to twist around, go back to the other side, twist around. Ah! So over on the pulley, I'm going to throw these rocks in this bag, and this way I can fairly easily adjust the weight by adding rocks or subtracting rocks, because I'm not exactly sure how much weight I'm going to need to keep the chicken turning. We'll see. I'm a little concerned about this spit not being perfectly straight. It's a little resistance spinning it. Wrap it around. Well, I'm losing daylight. It's, as usual, taking quite a while. I've been making some final adjustments mostly to this middle piece here. It wasn't spinning freely, so I decided to drill a hole and put a peg in all the way through, about an inch or so into this piece here. And now it rotates better. It's not like a machine rotation, but hopefully it'll do. And I've been making some adjustments. Let me turn the camera so you can see it. Now let's see, on the spit here, had some issues with it not rotating freely, so a lot of fine-tuning, and I'm getting pretty tired, so I plan to take a break and start the fire. Maybe set up the tent first while there's still some daylight. I decided to go to the car before it gets pitch black to get something to drink, some seltzer water and a snack or two. All right, let's see here. Oh yeah, it's in here. A double cooler. Seltzer water, grapes, and I think I'll grab another seltzer water. I'm really thirsty. And we'll zip that up. I guess what we'll do first, in order of importance, is not set up the tent, but let's unravel this set of Christmas lights. There. Nice. Let's see if we can start this with my Vaseline-soaked cotton balls. There we go. Well, I got the tent set up. I spared you all the details. You've seen me set up my air mattress and quilt many times in previous videos. So, I'm ready to have a nice snack now, all settled and ready for the night. Well, I'm sitting out by the fire and I had the grapes, and now it's time to have a balanced diet. My wife, she kindly gives me carrot juice and encourages me to have salads, but she also bakes cookies for me once in a while. That balances out the healthy stuff. That's good. Doesn't that look good? Delicious. Well, I'm all ready for bed. I'm in my quilt. I'm reading a really good commentary, Ariel's Bible commentary. It's on the book of Genesis. It's by Arnold Fruchtenbaum. He's a Messianic Jew, and he's dispensational. So it's a very interesting line-by-line commentary on the book of Genesis. I'm enjoying it a lot. I actually got it for Christmas last year from my kids. Thank you very much. I decided to get an early start on my project. I don't know exactly what happened last night, but there were only 2 cookies left for breakfast. I have to be out of here by noon. It's going to take, I don't know how long to cook the chicken and then to pack everything up. So it's about 5 a.m. I found a button on the lights that make them twinkle. Time to make some coffee. Café. I've got these creamers. They expired on, about a month ago. But sometimes in life, you just have to take some risks. Calculated risks. Got the chicken on the spit. Hopefully that stick in the middle will prevent it from rotating. Couldn't get it to go out both sides. Now I'm gonna stuff it with some lemongrass and a few apple slices. Getting stuck on something here. Let's see if we can get this device to work now. Well, I don't know. It's not working the way I hoped. So it looks like this is going to be failure number 5 or 6. See, it's supposed to swing. Fast enough to wrap around here and delay the spin on the spit. But this thing is all falling apart, just not working. So I don't know. The problem seems to be with this and with the wheel. The rope's getting all caught up in these branches. So it looks like we're going to go back to the old-fashioned manual spin on the spit. All this, that's the way it goes sometimes. Will I ever try this again? Probably not, at least not bushcraft style. I was trying to cheap out and gather all the materials, but maybe if I use some, I don't know, PVC pipe or some electrical conduit or something like that, so that the pieces can be more mechanically accurate. I might try that, but unfortunately, I'm not the genius that Leonardo DiVinci is, or even Felix Imler, who I got the idea from. He's in Switzerland, and he's an expert on Swiss Army knives. I brought the drill and a regular knife, but I highly recommend his channel if you want to know everything there is to know about Swiss Army knives. So he got this thing to work. I just can't do it. I don't give up, but for now, I'm going to be taking a break. Let's get to that chicken. You know, instead of using that expensive parachute cord, I just bought a cheap roll of twine, and I don't have to worry about saving it, burning the ends and all that stuff, and collecting it. I could just use it and throw it out. See if I can, I don't know, I want to tie this up a little better. Well, it's starting to rain now, and I might as well take this contraption down. I'm really disappointed, but c'est la vie. I marinated the chicken for 3 days. I'll show you what I used to marinate it, and that usually makes it pretty tasty. For the marinade, we'll add 1/4 fish sauce, all in this bowl. 1/4 cup fish sauce, 1/4 teaspoon black pepper, 1 cup calamansi juice. You can get that at a Filipino store. 1/4 cup soy sauce, 4 shallots, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 head of garlic, 1 bay leaf, and 3 tablespoons of brown sugar. Minced onions, brown sugar, bay leaf. I'll have to cut this up. All right, I rinsed the chicken. Now we'll pat dry it. Season it with some salt and pepper. Both sides. Salt and pepper. And I'll rub that in. Oh, I kind of forgot to stir the marinade. Whoops. Oh well. So we're gonna seal this up, and then we'll flip it every 6 hours, I guess. It has a very citric flavor. Of course, you know, I've tried this 4 or 5 times, so I know what it tastes like. But I'm holding out for a special sauce I haven't tried yet. cooking some rice there. The chicken's coming along. I'm checking the temperature once in a while. And I have my table ready, except I need some banana leaves. You might not be aware, but here in the Blue Ridge Mountains of South Carolina, if you look very carefully, you can sometimes find a natural banana tree. So that's what we're looking for today. Let's see if we can find a banana tree and put some banana leaves on our table. Oh, look at that. Oh, it's hard to miss banana leaves. They're huge. And this one has a banana. The rice is done. The chicken's almost done. I'm checking the temperature. And I just stuck a frozen lump of a special Filipino dish called Bulonglong. It's got some interesting combination of vegetables and fruit. I'll show you how I put it together. Today I'm going to make a healthy vegetable dish called Bulonglong from Batangas province. So we'll have horseradish leaves, ginger, 4 cloves of garlic, lemongrass, okra, 3 tomatoes, acorn squash, zucchini. Those are kind of replacement vegetables because I couldn't find the Filipino equivalents, a green papaya, and some salt. Oh, and also I'm going to rinse this rice and use the water from that as the base for the soup. Once it's boiling, I'll add the garlic and ginger. Then I'll add the lemongrass. Once that boils for several minutes, take the lemongrass out because I guess we don't want to eat the lemongrass. Next, we're going to add the acorn squash and the papaya. Let that cook for a while. I guess we want this to soften up a bit. Once they're somewhat tender, we'll add the tomatoes, the zucchini, and then the okra. I actually added a little more water, maybe too much. We'll see. Stay positive, even though the rotisserie didn't really work out too well. been dry the past 5 or 6 weekends when I could have gone camping. But we got to stay positive. And it's been really dry lately. So